Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the next update for my project Eyemageddon. And this is also, I think, the last update before the finale for this project, which is crazy to say because I think this is the first project that I'm updating where it is the last update before the finale. So, we are getting towards the end of the year, so it makes sense, but it still feels very weird because the year has just flown by. But yeah, I will let you know where I am with my palette today. I have my single eyeshadow palettes right here. And I will let you know how I've done with eyeshadows, as well as if I'm able to roll something new in. But quickly before I jump into the eyeshadows, if you're new to this project, basically this year I have been creating a singles palette. Mine currently looks like this. And early in the year I had a goal of using every single eyeshadow 10 times before I can roll it out. But last update I changed it to 5 because I wanted to be able to get through as many eyeshadows as I can before the end of the year. So that is kind of where I am with my project at the moment. I have 5 uses on everything as goals. So I'll let you know where I am with these today. But before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So like I said, this is what my palette looks like. It's super nice, kind of spooky. I wanted to create like a Halloween color story, and I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. Just looking at like the shifts and the shades in here. So that was kind of where my palette was last month. And again, I have used this one in the past month. So let's go through each shade in order and how many uses I have. So first up in the palette, we have this shade here, which is called Martian Dust from Terra Moon. It's like this red to kind of gold shimmer with that dark base. It's a really, really stunning shadow, but I actually only used this one once. I used this one in my Halloween look, actually. One of my Halloween looks, I did 2 this year. So I used this one once, but I do still have 4 more uses to go on this one. But I'm hoping to hit my goal on it before the finale. So that is the first shade. Then we have the shade Lure, which is one that's actually been in for 2 months now. And I was hoping to hit my goal on this one this month. However, I actually only used this one once. And that is a total of 1 because I hadn't used it at all in the first month it was in the project. So unfortunately this one is also staying in, which I'm not too worried about. I've been having my focus elsewhere when it comes to my eyeshadows because I'm trying to finish up as many eyeshadows as I can this year, as well as use every single eyeshadow in my collection. So projects like this has been a little bit neglected, but I'm okay with that. Next up though, we have this shade here, which is also from Terra Moons, and this is the shade M51. It's a beautiful duochrome. It goes from like a green to a purple, and it's really, really stunning. This one I already used 4 times in the past month, so I only had 1 more use on it before I could roll it out, and I did use it the 1 additional time. So this one can leave the palette and move out. It's such a beautiful eyeshadow. I really, really love this one. Yeah, it goes to like this purple kind of shade, which I'm not sure if you can pick up at all. I don't think you can currently, but it is a really, really stunning eyeshadow, and I have been loving using this one. Moving on to the second row, we have this shade here, which is from Sydney Grace, and that is the shade The Milky Way. This is another one that has been for 2 months now, and this one I had reached for 3 times in the first month, so I had 2 more uses to on it to go before I could roll it out. And I have hit my goal on this one too. It is a really, really nice shimmer. It's like a duochrome. It has like a mauve base and then this kind of almost like very, very silvered out teal shift. It's really stunning. I really like this eyeshadow, but I'm happy that it's rolling out of this project. So 2 eyeshadows out of 4, which is really good. Next up in the center there, we have the shade Phantom from the Pastel Roses. This one also rolled in last month, and it has this like teal base, and then it shifts into pinky purple as well as a greeny gold. It's really, really stunning. A very unique eyeshadow actually in my collection. But I only reached for this one once in the past month. So again, this one is staying in, and I have 4 more uses on it to go. Actually, for all of the shades that are staying in so far, these 3 here, I have 4 uses to go, which I hopefully should be able to do in the next month. But we just have to wait and see. But yeah, that is the shade Phantom, and again, like I said, that one is staying in. And then lastly here for the like round shimmers, we have the shade Sakura from the Pastel Roses. This one has been in for 3 months actually, and I had 4 uses on it before, once in the first month, 3 uses in the second month, and then I have used it the 1 additional time to roll it out this month. So I now have 5 uses on it, and it's a really, really beautiful shade. It is like a pink base, as you can see, like a Barbie pink base going into like a blue shift. It's really stunning. I just wish like a little bit more of the pink showed through, but the base isn't too strong. So it's more like almost like an iridescent blue shade, which is very useful to have still. It goes from like this kind of more greeny leaning kind of blue, like almost like a teal, I would say, into like a violet UV kind of shade. Really, really beautiful eyeshadow though, but I just again wish that the pink base right there would be a little more visible on the eyes. So sorry, I switched these around because I realized they were in the wrong order, but down here we have 3 mattes. They're all from Sydney Grace, and in the order of the shades, we have the shade Lolly, we have the shade Harvest, and then Tangerine. So these 3 have been in for 1 month only, so I only will be working on them for, like I said, a month. Unfortunately, I'm not rolling out any of these, but I do have some good uses on it. So on Lolly, I do have 3 uses, 2 more to go. And then for Harvest and Tangerine, I have used these 2 once each. So I have 4 more uses to go on these 2, which, yeah, is fine. I think I should be able to do that in the next month. Yeah, again, I've been very overwhelmed, and this palette has been a little bit neglected in the past month, which you can probably tell by the numbers. But I'm still happy that I'm getting use out of my single eyeshadows. So for the clear eyeshadows right here, we have 3 shades. The shade here rolled in last month, and that is the shade Burnish Light. It is a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow. It's one of their Jewel Lights eyeshadows, which I really, really love that formula. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to reach for this one yet. It is a beautiful eyeshadow, and I can't wait to play around with this one. I think it's going to be quite easy to reach for because I'm panning a lot of greens at the moment, and I think this one will pair really nicely with greens because it has that kind of, yeah, burnished, kind of orangey, like muted orangey yellow right on, but then it also does have a green shift, which I don't know if you can pick up at all, but it goes into a green shift, and then it has a few other tones to it too. It's absolutely stunning, this eyeshadow. But yeah, I just forgot about this one, to be honest, and I'm hoping to pick up the uses next month. Then underneath that, we have another beautiful shade right here, which is the shade Ferric, which is one of the dimensional multichromes. This one has been for 2 months, and I reached for it once the first month and once the second month. So this one again will be staying in. It has a total of 2 uses now, so I have 3 more uses to go. But again, this is one of my favorite eyeshadows from that launch. So I think there should be no problem reaching for this one 3 more times in the next month. Then the very final eyeshadow in this palette is this one down here, which is obviously as well from Cleona. And this is the shade Cobblestone, which is one of their Earth Vibrant multichromes. And this one has been in for 3 months now. I reached for it once the first month, 2 times the second month, so I have 2 more uses to go, and I'm happy to say that I reached that goal. So this one I have reached for 5 times, so I can replace this shade too, which means I can roll in 1 more Cleona eyeshadow. So let me take this one out from the palette, and we can reassess what I'm rolling in. So this is what my palette looks like now. It's still very autumnal. I think if you take away this shade here, it is very kind of autumn leaning, not so spooky anymore. I mean, it's still very orange, but yeah, I'm going to bring in some more green shades though, so it might bring up the spookiness a little bit again. But yeah, like I said, I'm panning a lot of greens at the moment, so I want some greens in this palette too to make it easier to reach for my greens. Like today, I did a green look. I think my last video when going up also was a green look. But I'm trying to finish up a lot of green shades, and I also rolled in my mini gold palette from Natasha Nona into my Product Level Up, which is more greens. So a lot of greens recently. But that's fine because I love wearing green, especially for autumn. So I'm going to pull in some more shades. So let me go through what I'm rolling in one by one. So let's actually start with eyeshadow that isn't green. And I had decided to roll in one of my Pastel Roses shades, and this is in the shade Pumpkin, which looks like this. It is like, it has like some orange to it, as you can see, but then it also has some purple specks, which makes it quite a neutral toned eyeshadow. You can see it right here. It does have a little bit of a warmer base, but then it has this cool tone shift. And it's a really, really nice eyeshadow. I don't reach for it often enough, but it's such a beautiful one. Again, you can see that warm base and then that silvery tone, but it also does have like a mauvey shift almost to it too. It's really, really stunning, and I love this eyeshadow. So I'm excited to roll this one in. And again, this is going to be the first one that isn't super green, but I think it's going to be a versatile shadow anyway to reach for, so this is the first choice. The second eyeshadow that I'm rolling in comes from Glam Shop, and it's this one right here, which is called Zigzag. It goes from like a green to a really strong, like purpley kind of magenta kind of shift. It's really, really stunning, and it has like a brown base. This one is a cult favorite in the Glam Shop kind of community, and for good reason, because it is a stunning, stunning shade. It is actually not, you can probably see, I think you can see the like reddish shift up there. But it's a beautiful eyeshadow, and it's quite similar to M51 actually from Terra Moons, but it goes into that red shift rather than the purple, and it's a really, really strong green shift. So I'm excited to play around with this one. I think it's going to pair really nicely with everything that I'm panning, and it's also one of my favorite eyeshadows, especially from Glam Shop. Next up, we have another Terra Moons eyeshadow, and it's this one right here, which is more of a neutral kind of green. It's the shade Hot Spice Cider, which has this like, yeah, more kind of warm tone green, more muted green full on, and then it has like a brown base. It's really, really pretty. It is a duochrome again. I think it almost has like a blue shift too, so it does lean into like the multichrome realm. But it is, like I said, that kind of more warm tone green with the brown base, and then it goes into like a bluish shift, like a very, very muted blue shift. I don't know if you can pick it up at all. But again, I think this one is going to be really easy to reach for, and it's going to give me some variety when it comes to what kind of greens I can pair with my different looks. So that is the next shadow. Then the final eyeshadow that I'm rolling in is, of course, the Cliona eyeshadow, and this one looks like this. It is from Cliona, like I said, obviously, and it is the shade Carving, which is one of the glitter monochromes. It has like this kind of muted teal base straight on. It does have like some green shifts to it, and then like also some purples, and it has this kind of muted grayed out kind of base. It's a really, really stunning eyeshadow. It's very versatile because it does have a little bit of a base. It can also be sheer to almost use as iridescent, and you can see it right there. It's such a beautiful eyeshadow. It's also not super green. It does have a little bit of green to it, but it's just a really versatile shadow that I love using. So that is going to be the next one that I roll in. And yeah, I think this one is going to be quite easy to reach for too. I think these two go into the same family, so does these. So I have some really good options here. Yes, they are very similar leaning, but don't forget as well that I had a lot of kind of more orangey toned and like other shades in this palette since before. But let me pop in Carving and I will show you the full palette. So yeah, that is what my palette looks like now. I really, really love how this looks. Again, I did pull in like a lot of the greens and the more kind of muted kind of shades, but don't forget I had this like red, I have these orange tones, I have this orange here, and then these two which goes like, they're shifty, so they're like very versatile, but they also have some orange to them and then some green. So rolling in the shades that I did, I feel like gives a lot of variety to the palette, and I'm really, really excited to play around with this one. But that is going to be my update for my project Eyemageddon. For next month, obviously, I'm just going to try to reach these ones as much as possible. I'm hoping to, yeah, hit my file users on as many of these as I can, but just trying to get as much use out of these as I can. Obviously, reaching for these ones at least once each, because this past month I didn't do that. I didn't reach for the shade here, but reaching for everything in here at least once, and hopefully again hit my goal on as many as I can. That will just be my goal. Again, it is going to be my finale next month, which is crazy. So yeah, let me know what you think of this project. I don't think I'm going to necessarily bring back this project on its own next year, but I am going to do a new eyeshadow project, and if you haven't seen my Planning to Pan video, I discussed it in there, but I might do something similar to this in that project. Maybe not with like, I'm not going to do the 10 users goal again. Maybe I'll do a smaller one, or maybe I'll just create like a BYOP each month. Let me know what you think. But again, this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're doing something similar, let me know how you're doing. And otherwise, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.